Hi everybody, this is Miss Hicks and I am going to take you through this solving right triangles with angles entrance ticket. This will help you get set up for that day's 7 through 9 quiz that you will be taking momentarily. All right, these first three are simply asking for the trigonometric ratios of sine, cosine, and tangent. For sine, that is opposite side over your hypotenuse. Okay, opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is going to be your adjacent over your hypotenuse. Okay, and tangent is going to be your opposite over your adjacent. Make sure that this is on your entrance ticket because it will help you be successful on this quiz. All right, using your calculator to approximate the given value and round to the nearest hundredth. So rounding to the nearest hundredth is going to be 2 decimal places, which means that we need to look at that third decimal place in order to tell us to round up or down. So in my calculator, first I'm going to make sure that I'm in degree mode, and I am simply going to type in the sine of 55. Okay, so if I go sine of 55, I should get 0.819. That's it. That's all I want. Oh, 819. Okay, it's a nearest hundredth, right? Okay, so I'm looking at this 9, which actually tells me to round that 1 up. And so I simplify to the nearest hundredth with 0.82. There we go. That's it. Solve for the missing side or angle. Set up the problem to earn full credit. Round to 2 decimal places. Okay, so we try to be as specific as possible in terms of how we want you to round. All right, we are talking about angle of depression here. The angle of depression from the top of Reno High School is 51 degrees. Okay, so I'm going to draw Reno High School. RHS. RHS. And the angle of depression tells me that I'm going to go out. And from that horizontal line out, I'm going to draw my angle downward. So this here is going to be my angle of depression at 51 degrees. If Maggie is 375 meters away from the base of the school, okay, so this is the distance from the base of the school to Maggie. Hi, Maggie. There she is. All right, 375 meters. Dun, 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 dun. How high is the building? Okay, so ultimately what we are looking for is the height of the building, knowing that from the building to the ground, that's our 90-degree angle. Okay, what we know about the angle of depression is that this imaginary line that is horizontal and the base of the school are going to be parallel lines. So what that tells me, there's a couple of different ways that I can do this, but what it ultimately tells me about this angle, okay, it is also 51 degrees, okay? So from there, I now can set up a trig ratio using my 51 degrees inside that triangle. Okay, so here's my triangle. Shoop, shoop, shoop. Okay, ooh, shoop again. All right, and I'm going to use 51 degrees. The pieces of information that I know are the 375 meters, which would be adjacent to that angle. And I am looking for the height of the building, which would be the opposite side. Okay, the trig function or ratio that deals with opposite and adjacent is going to be tangent. So setting it up, the tangent of 51 degrees is equal to my opposite side, which is the thing I'm looking for, divided by 375, my adjacent side. In order to get x by itself, I need to multiply both sides by 375. Okay, and so in my calculator, I'm going to type in 375 times the tangent of 51. Okay. All right, and it looks like x, or the height of the school, is equal to 463.09, rounding accordingly, and we are talking about meters. Okay, so that's what's going to go here, 463.09 meters. Fab. Wonderful, magical. All right, taking a look at number 3. Number 3, we are specifically looking for this theta. Okay, so this is what I am looking for, which means that I can use any of those ratios in order to find, yeah, you can really pick any ratio you want. Something you need to know about this triangle is that this is a right angle. Okay, so don't let that trip you up. We do have a right angle there, so we are going to use that. And I am going to, let's just go for maybe a sine ratio, the sine of my theta, the thing that I am looking for, is equal to my opposite side over my hypotenuse. So from theta, 8's going to be my opposite side. Always across from that right angle is my hypotenuse. Okay, notice I am looking for an angle. The angle is the thing that's missing, which tells me, hey, I need to use an inverse ratio, okay? So in order to find the angle, I'm going to use the inverse of sine and set up that ratio the exact same way, 8 over 17, okay? So in order to get the inverse sine, make sure you hit the second button on your calculator and then your sine button, second sine of 8 divided by 17. You can just type in that fraction as is, and I get theta is equal to 28.07 degrees, okay? Because I solved for an angle, I want to make sure that's in degrees. Fabulous. Solve the following right triangles. Fill out the table with your answers. You can use trig ratios, Pythagorean theorem, and sum of angles is 180 to solve. Okay, so it looks like we have information about BD. BD is 32. We also have information about angle B. Angle B is 46 degrees. The other piece of information that we're given is this box. Yet again, angle C is 90 degrees because that's what the box tells me. Well, I'm going to go right away and say that when I add 90 plus 46 plus the measure of angle D, I'm going to equal 180. Okay, so that's what it was saying. In terms of sum of angles is equal to 180. Let's move this so we can get a little bit more room. Okay, is equal to 180. And really what we can do in our calculators is take 180 minus 90 minus 46 to get the measure of angle D. 44 degrees. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, now I need a little bit more information about BC and DC. So I'm going to give these some variables, and I'm going to start by using my angle of 46 degrees to find y. Let's go for y first. Okay, across from my right angle, that is going to be my hypotenuse, and then compared to where 46 degrees is, that is opposite. So I'm looking at opposite and hypotenuse. That is going to be my sine ratio. Okay, so sine of 46 degrees, okay, is equal, sorry, get rid of this because we're just going to put it into the ratio. Okay, so the sine of 46 degrees is equal to my opposite side, which is my y, the thing that I am looking for, over my hypotenuse, which is 32. Same idea here. If I multiply both sides by 32, I get 32 times the sine of 46, and that is ultimately what's going to go into my calculator. 23, and it doesn't specify, but let's go 2 decimals again. Okay, so 2 decimals here, which means I'm 23.02. Okay, and that is the measure of DC. DC is y, so that's going to go here, 23.02, using a trig ratio to get us there. Okay, I'm going to use another trig ratio to find x. So I'm going to do a little bit of erasing here. Okay, I'm still going to use 46 degrees as my theta. Okay, but now I am looking at this side as the thing that I want. Okay, that is adjacent to my angle. Okay, I also still know that I have my hypotenuse of 32. Okay, so this time around I'm going to use a cosine ratio. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So the cosine of 46 degrees is equal to my adjacent x over my hypotenuse 32. And the process to get there is still the same. I'm going to multiply both sides by 32, and I get 32 times the cosine of 46 will give me my x, so that's what I'm going to plug in. And I get x is equal to 22.23, rounding to 2 decimal places, 22.23. Okay, keep in mind if you are ever searching for something that is in the denominator, so notice both of these times we have that 32 in the denominator. Say that I have a right triangle. I'm just going to go a little bit lower here. Say that I have something like this, and I know that this is 4, and I know that this is x, and I know that this is 18 degrees. Okay, if I'm looking for my hypotenuse, for me to set this up in a ratio, I'm going to go for the sine of 18 degrees is equal to my opposite side, which is 4, over my hypotenuse, which is x. Now notice the thing that I need to find is in the denominator of that fraction. The little trick with this is that you can flip-flop the locations of your sine to 18 degrees and your x to get x by itself. 4 divided by the sine of 18 degrees, okay? And that's the other way that you can do this if your variable is in the downstairs in the denominator position, okay? So you could plug that into your calculator. Just for argument's sake, that is 12.94. So just to give you an additional example of a type of problem that you may see if you're looking for a variable that is not in the numerator, instead of multiplying, you're going to go backwards and you're going to divide. 4 divided by sine 18. Okay, that's all I had for you. Good luck on your quiz.